Well, hi, Prescott, and welcome to Prescott E-News Prescott Talks. My name's Glenn Martin. I'm the host, and today my guest is Wiley Cline, and Wiley is running for Board of Supervisors District 2.
Yes.
And welcome, Wiley, first of all, and thanks for coming over the hill and sitting down with us in our studio. For those of you who may know Wiley or watched the show for a while, this is the second time Wiley's been on, so we'll kind of hit some of the things that we hit last time for the folks who haven't seen you or know what you stand for. And then let's talk a little bit about what it's been like the last few months, during our COVID-19 shutdown and how you're proceeding with your campaign for Board of Supervisors. So with that, Wiley, we'll just hit it. I usually hit it right off the bat. Second Amendment, you stand for?
Absolutely, 100%. Card-carrying NRA member.
And the sanctuary status of our county?
Absolutely.
And we talk about our development in our area, especially growing towards where you're at as well. Would you like to hit on that a little bit?
Our area, there's a couple, there was 3 huge development projects. Spring Creek Ranch, Bellagio, and Primrose. Bellagio and Primrose have been defeated. Primrose was over in the Beaver Creek, Rimrock area. Bellagio and Spring Creek are somewhat together. Spring Creek, they're going in front of the commission, I believe, in December for their second time. First time it got voted down. But it's a huge development that the residents don't want in there. The Cornville Association doesn't want in there. Goes against their community plan. And it's not one that I'm for.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's beneficial. And they're calling it, the key word now is it's not low-income housing or anything like that. Now it's workforce housing, affordable housing. And that's what they're calling it, and it's not. It's simply not, and it's going to put an additional, I think they were projecting at one time like 7,000 people in the area that the infrastructure can't handle, the school, it's just a mess. Yeah. And I'm for growth, absolutely, we have to have it, but it has to be done smart. And it has to be planned out, and it has to be basically the consensus of the people. They move into these areas to stay rural. That's what they like. They like 2 acres, single family, and the rural atmosphere. They don't want a big city or they'd be living in it. So we have to protect that also.
Well, you have a Facebook site and a website, and we'll put that up in a moment. But it's interesting that, how do you get the feedback from the people? I mean, you're running for the board. Obviously, you need the support from the people. How are you getting that exchange of ideas and opinions, I guess, between you and the folks in District 2?
Social media, 100% is the only way you can do it, especially during this lockdown, whatever they want to call it, during this pandemic. You can't get out, you can't meet people. So the only way you can do it is internet and social media, and just hit as many places as you can, as many people. And we've been real successful. I just looked this morning, in over 28 days, I've had 4,800 views on my posts. And over 1,000 interactions, so it is working.
And if somebody did have a question for you, you're pretty fast on responding to that, or because I haven't looked at your website or your Facebook site for a while.
You're killing me, Glenn.
I haven't had any questions because I get to talk to you live. We get to we get to do the 6-foot separation thing right here,
or text,
yeah, exactly, or text. And in all honesty, I've talked to you a couple times about issues in the county that things that we can agree on. One of those issues was your opinion of the 18% tax on $100,000 in value.
Yes.
Would you share your opinion on that with the folks?
I think it was a huge mistake to tax us. I mean, they're coming after us for money they're spending that they don't have. And that's what I'm here for. It's time we become fiscally responsible. And if we don't have it, don't spend it. And, there were, what was it, 50 million, I think, of the liability goes to PSPRS. somewhere around in there.
Yeah, I think it was basically every year, the PSPRS liability is around 50 million in liability, but they're putting $4 million each year more to try to pay it down. And now, when I read last, and I don't know if this has changed, but what I read last was they were considering taking that $4 million and not paying it to PSPRS and putting it into the general fund, because the general fund is getting depleted because of COVID. You know, there's been a lot of taxes that are no longer going to be coming in, monies that aren't going to be coming in. I know Phil Burdone, I saw him, they postponed buying new vehicles for the different departments, and now they're talking about taking that $4 million, putting into the general fund. Again, when we tax people and we don't put, you know, a clause in there that says this money only goes to X, they're free to use that and move that around wherever they want to.
It becomes a shell game. They just move it around.
Right.
And all they're doing is kicking the can down the road for their liability to the retirement system.
And you were talking before we came on the show, Wiley, something that admittedly I have to learn about, but there's another project that was going on in your area on a roadway. Could you talk a little bit about that? Because these things that might be happening in District 2, and if you're not aware of it, we're all going to pay for it. Doesn't matter where you live in Yavapai County.
The entire county is going to foot the bill for it.
Right.
And they shouldn't, but it's called the Verde Connect. And it's a road that District 3 Supervisor Randy Garrison's pushing. And it goes from 260 across the Cornville Road, and it connects the Beaverhead Flat Road for another way to get to the Village Oak Creek, is all it is. And it's supposed to connect the Middle Verde Road. Well, the residents of Middle Verde are fighting it because they don't want major traffic in their area. That's why they live there. It's a dead-end road. That's why they're there. There's a group called Verde Disconnect that's fighting this. Great bunch of people. Zach Wolf and Todd Scantleberry are the two that are leading it. And very, very informative. So I'd ask anybody, go on Verde Connect, the county's site, look at all the proposals, look at all the permitting, the engineer, everything's on there. Traffic assessments, everything's on there. And then go to Verde Disconnect and look at the rest of it, and you'll be surprised.
At what price tag is that coming? Do you know?
A huge one.
Yeah.
They have a grant for $25 million to build a bridge, federal grant, but it's a match grant. They have to match it again, $25 million. Plus they got, I believe it's either 9 or 11 miles of brand new road to build, which probably would be $3 to $4 million a mile. So they have to bond all that money, the $25 million grant plus the money to build the road. And we don't need to be borrowing money right now. With this pandemic going on, they have no idea, no clue what the economic impact's going to be. I just talked to Tom Thurman about 3 weeks ago, and I asked him what numbers they're seeing, and they haven't seen them yet. So they have no clue what the impact's going to be, and it's going to be a huge one. They're going to be hurting for money, and we do not need to be borrowing money we don't have.
Well, I don't even think the state knows what the impact is going to be. Again, I read where the state can't even anticipate what the loss of revenue is going to be. They have some ideas, and they're throwing money out there, or ideas and throwing numbers out there, but when it comes, right down where the rubber hits the road, they don't know.
They don't know.
They're guessing.
A week ago Friday, the state of Arizona went in and canceled every major road project they have. They didn't kick it down the road 3 or 4 years, they canceled them.
Yeah.
They're turning back federal grants because they're going on data up to February. And with that data just to February, they're projecting $711 million deficit by the end of June.
Yeah.
And you figure before that, they were projecting $1 billion extra surplus. So you take that billion off, plus another 711, that's a huge impact. And for whatever reason, our Board of Supervisors is not paying attention to this.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. I don't know if it's ego driving it. I don't know if it's just lack of knowledge. But they have to be getting the same numbers we're getting.
Yeah. Well, again, another issue of things that are going forward is the jail, or the Justice Center, as they call it. I like Sheriff Masher, and that the sheriff's watching. I understand, the sheriff can only do what is that he can do. He's got to execute the judicial system's orders, if you will. So the problem, a lot of it has to do with our judicial system and who's in jail and how we can do to eliminate some of that.
And
so I
DOJ
understand why sheriff is saying, I need a new jail, I don't have enough room. Well, the system needs to be changed, and I think there's some opportunity to do that.
There's some room to overhaul it.
But again, and again, Wiley, I talked to you because you were a sheriff. You walked the line, so no one knows better than you do about a lot of what happens within the justice system and some of the things that you've seen occur. Again, you don't have the ability to make the decision, should I make this arrest or not make this arrest? You have to follow what the law says. And the sheriff isn't doing the exact same thing. He has to follow what the law says. And the law, and when it gets to be an overcrowding, he's got to either the law has to be changed, or he's going to need to build another facility. So again, that problem is where the rubber hits the road, like I always keep using that term. That needs to change as a system. So, but they're wanting to go ahead and proceed with this $70 million Justice Center. Now, when I say $70 million, that doesn't include the personnel and the pensions and all the other stuff that goes along with that. That's just masonry. That's just concrete and wood and metal and what have you.
Just the brick and mortars, all
exactly. So, but they don't seem to see a problem coming along financially. That I guess they've got the grants secured. You tell me. I'm not sure.
I'm not 100% sure, but it's my understanding that the bond's already there. They've already got it. So if that's the case, we're stuck with it. Plain and simple. Can't get rid of it. You can't pay a bond off early. So we're stuck with it. So that's $70 million that we don't have, on top of what we're not going to have because of sales tax, road funds, everything else that's going to be impacted over this. And they just can't see this. It's just astounding to me how they cannot figure out we're in trouble and do something. I mean, cut budgets. I'd like to come in, cut 10% off everybody's budget, set that aside. You can't tell me there's not at least 10% waste in every department.
Well, it's interesting during this pandemic. I have friends who have been furloughed and laid off, and people who have, your wife.
My wife's been laid off.
But when it comes to the county, I haven't heard of any county people. Now, some people that work for the county chose not to work because they're high risk or what have you, and they backed off. But are you aware of any furloughs or
no furloughs,
people let go because of COVID?
No furloughs, no layoffs. I did hear there's a hiring freeze, which, don't spend any future money hiring people, but sometimes that's not good. I mean, if you have a department that's down on people and really needing the help, that's not a good thing. There's other ways to save money, but I haven't heard of any furloughs. I'm sure all overtime's been cut out. If it hasn't, it should be. And, expenditures like you're saying, vehicles and stuff that don't need to be purchased right now, I hope's cut out.
Yeah, it just seems that government keeps on rolling
even
though we're not working.
I had a government job. And
You understand, right? Yeah.
We were considered essential.
Well, I would say sheriffs and paramedics, that is essential.
EMS. Essential. Road departments and things, not so much.
We need to be safe on our streets.
Exactly. EMS should never be cut.
Exactly. But,
personnel or money, ever.
Interesting. Again, my fear as a taxpayer now, and I do live in the county, is that we get going on this jail and all of a sudden, government's really well on overruns. And I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying I'd hate to see the jail get to have a nice platform built and all the metal and all the steel goes, and all of a sudden we need money. And there's only one place that the Yavapai County Board of Supervisors can get money. And that's from the folks that are living within the county and raise their rate. Now, I'm not saying, I talked to my supervisor. I'm in District 5, so I talked to Mary Mallory, and she's sworn up and down that she will not ever, she's not going to raise taxes if there was an overrun. Well, ever is kind of a big word, you know. So
We've already done that.
we've done it once, you know, but I don't see how we can make that kind of promise and
You
keep
can't.
on going with our projects, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
We can't keep going with them. If there's any way at all to cancel any of our major projects,
Or
it
hold
needs
it
to be
off.
done.
You know, like you said, you know,
Yeah.
if we can hold
Kick
it
it
off
down
for
the
a few
road 3 or
months
4
just
years.
to make sure that we're going to be able and we see a good, clear path going forward, I think that would be a responsible way to go.
Because recovery is going to take a while off of this.
Yeah, and I think we will recover, and I
we
think
will.
that we're going to recover stronger than ever. You know, but I don't think it's going to happen overnight. You
No,
know, we
it's
need
not.
to
I'd say a year to 2.
exercise, like you said, fiscal responsibility, and I'm anxious to hear more of what they have to say, as I'm sure you.
I'm curious because I don't know, but none of them are talking about anything. I mean, not a one of them's come out and said, you know, this probably really isn't a good idea. We need to think about this, and they need to.
Yeah.
They absolutely have to. And like, if they haven't bonded the jail or judicial complex, whatever you're going to call it, if they haven't bonded it yet, they don't need to. They need to set that aside.
You know, I'll put this politely. You know, when during the pandemic, there was a lot of leadership shown, I think, in our Quad City areas. I watched Mayor Mangarelli daily speak about where we were at, and, you know, what was happening within this city. I watched Kel Pagula over in Prescott Valley, and he did a phenomenal job, I think, making sure that the community was well informed, and there was somebody at the helm that was, you know, charging the path. I found it really strange that I didn't hear anything from the county, Wiley. I didn't hear anything from any of the Board of Supervisors or the chair. Maybe I'm in an enclosed world. Did you hear anything down on your side of the county?
Not a word, not a peep out of them. And they should have been out front. They should have been one of them every day. This is what we've got going. This is what we're doing. Now, I don't listen to local radio stations. I don't know if they may have had something on there. No, they haven't.
I haven't. I didn't hear anything on, but
I haven't heard a peep. I mean, there's nothing coming out on social media, which is the absolute best way to reach anybody. And I wasn't seeing anything.
well, the only thing I saw was the health department update every day, and you know, I saw that from the health department website.
Nothing
so
from our
nothing from
leadership.
our leadership. So let's fast forward a little bit today, and now the everything's been relaxed, and we're no longer in the, you know, take shelter mode, and we're opening up businesses, and we're seeing restaurants and different venues opening up. Again, you know, I watched Mayor Mangarelli go around to all these different businesses in his city, as well as Kel with his tailgate parties and all these other things that have been going on. Again, working with the CDC guidelines. They're not just saying, you know, get out there and everybody get in a circle and sing Kumbaya.
True.
We're being smart about it. We're doing our social distance, as we are.
Absolutely.
And we're you know, after the interview, we'll be washing our hands, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't see any of that happening. Now, I know Mary has been around the different food drives and that kind of stuff, which I give her kudos for. But how are our Board of Supervisors helping small business right now getting back on their feet? Are they doing anything out there?
I haven't heard anything they're doing to help our business.
I know that's a long setup for the question.
It
but
is a very
I
long
don't,
setup.
I just don't have the words to express it. You know, I don't understand why they're not out there saying, hey, you know, we need to support this group, or, you know, in your various areas. Because again, when I talk to you, Wiley, and we talk off the air, you're part of District 2, I'm District 5, and we have really different things that are going on within our districts.
Oh, they're absolutely different.
So they need to be more specific, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're in District 2, you should be focusing your energy on what's going on in District 2. as far as bringing back the economy.
Yes.
If you're in District 5, you should be focusing on that. If you're District 4, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, and there's not. I mean, I don't know. Our leadership's MIA. The Board of Supervisors, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I have no idea. You just don't see them out and about. And now I'll pass it. But anyway.
No, I know. That's why I said I want to be very careful how I say this.
Yeah, that's what
I don't
was
want to. I don't want to bash them if they are.
No.
I just
But
not
I'm
aware
not
of it,
hearing
and that's
anything.
why I was asking you if you had seen anything
No,
about it.
I'm not seeing it. I'm not hearing it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if they're busy doing other things.
Yeah.
I don't know if they just don't want to be out in public right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
there needs to be some visibility from them.
Yeah.
And
I
some-
would hope that there
and
would
some
be.
support in some way.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we have a lot of businesses and people in our community, and like I said, I give Mary credit because there's a lot of people that, you know, she's in the food drives and she's doing things that are helping different organizations that are struggling right now, and that's great. You know, when you have a public figure helping out, it doesn't mean that you're there for the photo op, but
Exactly.
it draws people. It just does, and draws the community together and closer. So.
well, it's a good advertisement basically for whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that was one of the things I worked with Quan Nguyen on his campaign, and Quan's very shy when it comes to things that he does to help the community. And I just, you know, sometimes I try to show that, you know, the guy is out there. He's doing what he can.
is.
Saturdays he's out delivering food to people who can't, you know, and I said, you know, we should put that out and let people know that you're being active within. He says, I do it because this is what I believe, not I don't want to photo op. So I give him credit for that as well.
Kwong is very active in
Yeah.
the community, very active,
So
which is great.
yeah, he's just legitimately a good
He
person.
is.
So anyway,
much
I
so.
just wanted to get your feel on it as well, and on your side of the world. That
I think they're missing right now. That's my opinion. I'm not seeing anything, not hearing anything, but they need to be out. They need to be reassuring their businesses. They need to be doing whatever they can to shore them up and get back to some resemblance of normal. I don't know what that's going to be.
yeah, hopefully they'll open up the county building. I went over there the other day to submit some FOIAs, and it's still closed. So, but they're very accommodating. I must say, I made a phone call and they came out and got my FOIAs right away. So, you know, I can't, you know, the folks that are working down there, they're doing the job. So I was glad to see that.
That's good. And, you know, they're being careful as they should be.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you have a concern, by all means, be careful.
Yeah, well, again, you know, and I think about our board, and a lot of them are our age and even older, so I can understand their concern of being out in public. You know, this COVID-19 really raises heck with people our age and older.
It does.
So I could certainly understand it. You know, I had Noel Campbell in studio, and he wasn't going down. He was doing his legislative duty via Skype, so he wasn't down on the floor. Again, God bless Noel Campbell. But he's not a pup, and he knows that if he was to contract that it could definitely be the end. So,
It could be.
so it's something to take serious, and I don't mean to downplay it in any way.
No, but we still need some leadership.
We still need the leadership. We still
and
turn to
visibility.
leadership. So let's talk about the campaign.
Okay.
Let's talk about the fun part.
Yeah,
right?
It is fun. I actually enjoy it.
Yeah. So do you have any scheduled events coming up where you're going to, now that we're a little bit more relaxed, where you can speak to people?
We do. We have, I know I'm going to mess them up, June 17th, Mortimer Farms at 5:30. There's a forum with supervisor candidates, and I don't know if it's all the districts or just District 2. I'm not sure. And then June, I want to say 23rd, Yavapai GOP forum.
Oh, good.
Over here at the high school.
Oh, good. So
And then I have one on Zoom, I think it is, on the 26th. It'll be recorded.
well, those would be on your Facebook site. So
Yes.
again, we'll refer to our folks
I'll put them out.
to look at
Website
the Facebook
and
website.
Facebook, both. It'll be out.
And endorsements have, as you've gone through the last few months, have you picked up endorsements or supporters? Maybe you'd like to share that?
We gotten some good ones. I have Steve Stratton with the Arizona Department of Transportation Board. He's endorsing me. Brenda Hauser, Hauser and Hauser Farms are endorsing me. Nathan White, Northern Arizona Pump. Your employer? My employer now, which is handy.
Yeah.
And Dr. Rhonda Rhodes is endorsing me. I'm gonna miss people I know. I got a lot of support from the Republican Women of Black Canyon City.
Oh, good.
They've been absolutely wonderful. The ladies are great. In fact, we were down there Saturday. They had a fundraiser for the VFW, and we were down there for that.
Oh, good. Good. And you brought up your new employer, and that's all of a sudden, boom, here's another question for you, Wiley. You were working for
ADOT.
ADOT. You're no longer working for ADOT?
No, and as a matter of fact, our last interview is what got me unemployed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Look.
Thank you, Glenn.
You're not armed. Hey, you're not armed, are you, Wiley?
Well, maybe, but anyway.
Yeah.
No, what happened is my district engineer saw my last interview, and under Arizona statute and ADOT policy, I can't work for the state and seek my party's nomination for a paid political position.
Okay.
So they came to me with all the information on a Friday. I didn't have to be back to work till Tuesday. And she gave me all the information and told me to take the weekend so I could have an informed decision on what I was going to do. She's absolutely wonderful about it. Audra's great. And Chad was there, the assistant engineer, and my boss. And I told her, I said, no, I'm going to resign. And we went back and forth for a while.
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm going to resign. I said, I'll
Yeah.
be back up Tuesday to resign. I said, because my choices were dismissal. It was a dismissable offense. Resign or quit campaigning. I've been doing this since last August. I pulled my papers. I'm not about to stop now.
You got skin in the game now, bud.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about what I'm doing, and I want to help the county. Not just District 2, it's for the whole county.
Gotcha.
You know, you can't just say, well, I'm here for these people, because that's not true. You're here for the whole county. So I did what I told them. I came back that Tuesday, brought all my stuff back, and I resigned from my job.
And you're working.
I work for Northern Arizona Pump now.
I gotcha.
One of my sponsors or endorsers or
Yeah,
whatever you
yeah,
want to call
yeah.
it. Great guy, Nathan White. He's been a friend for years.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
So, well, it sounds like we might be breaking into another exciting portion of our campaign, of your campaign, I should say. And we look forward to having you back on, Wiley, and speaking about, maybe we can get into more of the issues. I just wanted to really get you in front of the cameras and see if I can't get you to lose another job. No, I'm just kidding.
This one's secure.
This one's good. They endorsed you.
I can campaign all I want. It's great.
But seriously, we want to know where you stand on a lot of the issues, and again, as we get to know you and as the public gets to know you, so they can make that informed vote. So I'm going to end my portion of this interview with, I always thank current serving military and past military for their service. This is being recorded on Memorial Day, so it's a special day for you and I both and our community. I thank you for your service in the police department and the sheriff's department, and I appreciate the time that you came in and we get to speak, and we thank you guys and gals and fire department and keeping our roads and safe. So with that, I just want to say God bless our veterans, the people that we've lost, securing our freedoms.
Especially the people we lost. They gave it. That's what today's about. It's honoring the ones that gave their lives for what we have.
God bless Prescott.
Yes.
And God bless our state, our country. So that's my sign off, and I'm going to let you make your last campaign speech, if you'd like.
My vote for me speech?
Yeah, your vote for me to speech. That's your camera right there. So if you want to address the public, and thank you so much for coming in again. Thank you, Prescott. Take it away, Wiley.
Thank you, Glenn. I just want to thank everybody for all the support I've gotten over the months. It's meant a lot to me, both financially, inviting me places. It's been great. And we have a little over 2 more months, which is unbelievable. It's gone this fast. And August 4th is going to get here quick. Be sure to register to vote. Hopefully you're voting for me. If not, please just register. It's very important that you vote. And I hope the vote's for me. I think I'm the best candidate running. There's 6 of us, as everybody generally knows. And I hope your votes are for me. And if I am elected, I'll be back with Glenn as often as I can to let everybody know what's going on. I promise I'll be a highly visible supervisor, not candidate, because I'll get elected by then. You'll be able to call me, you'll be able to talk to me, you'll see a lot of me, and you'll know what's going on in our county. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.
All right.